In South Nigeria, one young woman is making it her mission to bring the power of knowledge to young people with refurbished libraries and books for schools.
A forecast on improving pension participation and payout for Africa at the Special World Pension Summit.
And a new museum opens its doors in Washington, the new National Museum of African American History, telling some of the greatest stories in America. Africa 54 starts right now.
I'm Joke Rogers reporting from Channels Television in Lagos. Stay with us for stories of interest from around the continent here on Africa 54.
Well, hello and welcome. I'm Vincent McCory, Voice of America, coming to you from our global headquarters here in Washington, D.C. Now, making leaders out of readers, that surmises a young woman's efforts with students in Cross River State, that in South Nigeria. She has refurbished 2 libraries and donated books to schools. Channels Television correspondent Iman Ode has that story, as voiced by Imana Amawe.
Infrastructure, or lack of it, is an obstacle to learning in schools. The students of Government Secondary School and a state secondary school, Ikodansa, Calabar, Cross River State, have long coped with this sort of situation. But the conditions in these schools appear to get a turnaround, thanks to a member of the National Youth Service Corps who is deployed to serve in the community.
With the coming of our daughter Uju, she has come and renovated the library. Now we are proud to tell somebody we have a library. Come to our library. As you can see, the children like coming here now. That time there were no seats. We had just very few seats. But because of the place being renovated by our copper, you can see them now using they are happy to come and use the facilities.
The library will serve the generations unborn, and it cannot easily be forgotten. The library will serve so many other students that will come after Uju would have left. The students that are here will enjoy it and leave. Other ones will come and benefit. We, the teachers, will leave. Other ones will come and meet it.
She explains her motivation.
It was my own way of contributing to the educational sector, in Nigeria, in my own way, since I know that it seriously needs improvement. Libraries would serve as a very good avenue for the educational center to be improved. And really, that was what inspired me to do it. I'll be affecting these children's life long term, in positive impact, and then I'll be adding to the educational sector in a good way. So,
for students eager to learn but without a conducive environment, the renovated library is a dream come true.
Now the learning environment is so good. As in what she has done helps students to put more interest in reading. She have seen the need of impacting knowledge in students. Most students, they don't read, but when you see all this, when you turn your eye and see all this, it makes you good and give you the courage to read.
Gestures like these are a reminder that the government needs to pay more attention to improving infrastructure in schools if it hopes to achieve the goal of transforming the nation's education system.
10% of Nigeria's 2016 national budget has been earmarked for education, something President Muhammadu Buhari says shows that his government prioritizes the sector. Let's talk more about the role of education in Nigeria's development. And joining us for that discussion is a professor at the Department of Mass Communication, University of Jos, Professor Victor Ayedun Aluma. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Considering the budgetary allocation, how can the government go about making the necessary investment in education, especially for research and science development?
The government needs to give weight to the policy to prioritize research. Yes, we all recognize that research is important, and we may make noises about that, but we've got to reflect it in the weight that we give to funding for research. How does that happen? My suggestion is that we have to, government that is, has to make up its mind that a certain proportion of the funds will go towards research, and not just research generally, but research that is geared towards addressing issues that the country faces, today.
One key aspect of education, I must say, is helping learners develop analytical and critical thinking abilities. How well is our curriculum designed to achieve this, or do we need to redesign it as some people are proposing?
I align with those who propose that we need a redesign. Because of the facts of history, of our history, and the way in which our system linked up with the modern, there is a disconnect between what our needs are, in many cases, between what our needs are and the orientation of our curriculum. For instance, there's a tendency for us to take our cue from what we consider to be desirable practice in the countries and the systems that we look up to. The knowledge that we take from those places may not fit well with us. So the point that then needs to be stressed is that we need to reorganize, to redesign our curriculum in such a way that it is first context sensitive. What that means is that, yes, we are international, in terms of knowledge, but we put a great focus on domesticating or localizing the knowledge that we receive from those places, in addition to generating new knowledge that arise from how we engage with our own circumstances. I believe that the government must set up and run its own schools in such a way that they become exemplars of the vision that we need, that we have evolved. Through those conversations, government then provides the nudging that private sector practitioners need in order to operate in line with the master plan, if we put it that way.
Professor Victor Ayedun Aluma from the University of Jos, thank you so much for joining us today on Africa 54.
Thank you.
Well, Africans in the United States have been celebrating the continent with different events. At a conference here in Washington, Africans pushed for unity in the diaspora. Channels television correspondent Maria Bide reports.
The Congressional African Staff Association and the D.C. Mayor's Office on African Affairs presented the African Heritage Month series, Diaspora in Dialogue, Demographics, Policy, and Connections.
I see Africans that are isolated. Ethiopians do their own thing here, Ghanaians do their own thing there, South Sudanese do their own thing, and they all doing the same exact thing. Unemployment is not an issue in just a South Sudanese community. It's an issue in all African communities. So we should organize not by country or language, but by issue.
The panelists and the attendees agreed that there is still a lot of work to be done for the African diaspora in the U.S.
One thing remains clear amongst the Africans that I know and the Africans that I spend time with and that I meet, in professional settings, is that there is a deep yearning and desire for change and for improvement in their country of origin.
This panel discussion was geared around recently collected demographic data that will be analyzed and shared with the community. And so it is my hope that the community will be better informed about the African community in general, what challenges that we face, what of our accomplishment, and really try to, and these are things that we already suspected, we knew, but the report will allow us to back it up with data to make it more credible and more valid overall.
This brainstorming event on the African diaspora and the U.S. is the first of many to come. From Washington, Maria Bird, Channels Television News.
Well, we want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, schoolgirls in Malawi finding strength and knowledge as they learn how to fight back if necessary. That story after the break.